Eve paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 122 miniature-related Patreon campaigns to share with you today, and one Kickstarter campaign, my own. I'll go into a little more detail at the end, but I'm offering 9 sets of miniature bases and movement trays, with bits for bashing onto them. Link in the description. Quick content warning, some of these campaigns contain pinup style models. I've left a link in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. That said, let's get started. First up, here is the first bust created by TPK Lab. This demon and armored goblin slayer are free downloads from iconic minis. It looks like K-Scale Models has some tiny Gundams in the works. "3D Print Cleric" has a good-size army of Bone Warrior Skellies. Stormcrow has an Entelodont this month, a Hell Pig. This Gothic Knight is a free download. You can get 40 of them by becoming a patron. Project Mobius has a large Pluto transport vehicle and some terrain tiles and auto defense turrets. Here's the latest model in progress from Ratman Forge, some sort of evil sorcerer. Realm of Paths has some heavily armored lizard aliens called Batrazlan. These bikini girls with guns are the work of KLT Studio. Here's a work-in-progress troll from channel patron Dark Heresy. This motorbike is part of Cybermyth's September release. Renan 3D has 3 new spaceships, a Hunter, a Black Widow, and a Trooper. This is a work-in-progress Pyramid Head and a finished Ramiel by 3DS of Sand. These are an Archmage and a Green Dragon from Your Neighbor Knight minis. Here are 2 previews of the Nagas that Blue Wyvern is working on for September. Realm Gate Studio is working on some big guns and some alternate heads. Thunderchrome has more parts for their modular building set they're working on. Here's a preview of Star Pharaoh Foundry's latest creation, the Kopesh Cruiser. This cute little alien is Amnea from Celia Miniatures. Dragon's Lake Miniatures has a Kraken coming next month. Blastcool has this little football player ghost, a free download. Bob Naismith is working on a hangar with deck crew and pilots. Polygrain has some frog folk in the works for next month. Here's an interesting assortment of minis from Random Miniatures. The Portal of Morrow has a nice selection of orcs for their September set. Clay Demon Miniatures has finished work on their creepy Hibernation Pods diorama. August McDaniel has added 2 new pieces of ruins to their growing collection. Here's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi bunny girl from Claudio Cassini Art, as well as skellies, a kitsune, and a minotaur. Here's a work-in-progress missile tank from Fable Table. It seems a saber-toothed kitty has snuck up on Zandoria Studios' 2 gnome Ice Age hunters. This is Dr. Jibby Jabs and his Grot Orderly from Mecha Miniatures. The Lalalian Industrial Complex has sculpted every variant of Marauder they could find, about 20 in total. This Maid Lucifer is the latest sculpt from Rubin. Here is a second sneak peek at Labradorite Wolf's Sparrowmouse Griffin. From Magori Miniatures, this is a modular Black Guard regiment and a few Slan goatees. Here are work-in-progress robots, speeders, and an Orc Shaman by Red Nebular. Two more survivors for your zombie apocalypse campaigns from Vault Zed. This Stormblade Exterminator is from Valkyrie's Playground and comes with just a heckload of different basing options. Maddox Historical Miniatures has the French Compagnie de la Marine forces this month. Bog Snipers, Swamp Shoes, and Dino Mounts, all from 2 Gargoyles Studio. Here is a Happy Little Weasel Thief by Naga Minis. These modular Stonehand Dwarves are part of the October release from Kurzla Miniatures. Legend Builds has the Night Mistress and a campfire for the telling of her tales. These 3 Skelly Warriors are from Orc King. New goddesses this week from Village's Hope Miniatures include Athena, Ishtar, Chaos, and Tsukuyomi. Surrogate Miniatures has a solid little sci-fi army for their September release. Trident Studio has an archer this month, as well as a robot-riding superhero. Here's a Goblin Monk from Cult Miniatures. These Pistoleros are part of Fantasy Cult Miniatures' upcoming October release. Ilhadio has a Dark Elf Chariot and a Command Group, and this Medieval Knight Pack is actually a free download. Sable Badger has Necrotic Miniature bases and a couple different gaming dashboards. Hell Creator is nearing completion on their Master Chief model. Here's a sneak peek at the Drogear Soul Reavers coming from Battleyak Miniatures next month. Dragon Workshop has some customizable wagons for their September release. Here's a recap of all the minis that Onmyoji has created this month. Here's the finished APC from Crucible of Games, as well as Radical Cyberhounds. From Mythbowl RN Studio, here's a full team of Mountain Dwarves. Turn-Based Miniatures has a cartel gang this month, as well as a sneak peek at what is coming next month. This is a work-in-progress Undead Ogre from Warplock Miniatures. Station Forge has these great Scavenger Scout Walkers and Grimguard Officers. Wake's Emporium has an army of small-scale Marines this month. I'm pretty sure this concept art from Polygon Masterworks is drawn on top of the work-in-progress KCS7 Krieger that I showed you last week. This mid-month mini from Maddox is either a hero or a scoundrel, or possibly both. Goonmaster Games has a few more previews of their upcoming Spooky Town release. Playbeast Creations is showing off another one of their flying Starscale units coming next month. Here are 4 levels of Silver Warden by DMG Minis, as well as some extra heads and a work-in-progress Shaman. Holly Monster is the free chibi from Capsule Chibi this month. Dinamu 3D is just about ready to start posing their Mecha Knight Odessa model. Here is the finished Cronus, the Annihilator by Tiger Skull RPG. Big Mr. Tong is working on the Spectre organization, an RC bomb buggy, Nero soldiers, and Black Hole sentry bots. Blue Sky Minis has previews of 3 Brawla Boys, part of their Orktober release. When tough isn't enough, you need an Armored Turtle by Epics and Stuffs. This is Delta Sol, Alien Border World Buildings by Sacris Mundus. Caballero Miniatures has a fight scene between a Slavic vampire and a nobleman. This is a Bog Wraith, a bunch of extra heads, and a preview of a Cosmo Zombie by Knucklebones Miniatures. Here's a sneak peek at a North Mage coming in October from Davale Games. Four characters and the Fountain from the Town Square by Bright Minis. Here's a work-in-progress Knoll Arbalist by Manuel Boria. New models from Schlossbauer include a New, a Lapsudaemon, a Quasit of Zuckmoy, and more. New previews from Titan Troll Miniatures include an Ogre Bust, Bill the Butcher, a couple Gobos, and a Bugbear. Here's a first sneak peek at Brainbursters from Edge Miniatures. Kyoshuneko Miniatures has completed work on their Colonial Space Dwarves. These are Onderon Royal Militia and a Jedi Master with Younglings from Black Remnant. Coming from 3DXM this month, we have Donatello, Megatron, and Hermione. These are Starkmander Karina, Krieg the Breaker, and 1 Cent the Penny Dragon by Twin Goddess Miniatures. Chibi STL has finished up work on Thor, as well as Pennywise and Michael Jackson. Print Your Monsters September release is the Sarajuk Desert Orc Tribe and a Big Desert Dragon. To finish off their September Goblin Ambush set, Vevictus Miniatures has added some trees and bushes to help set the stage. Duncan Shadow has some modular trolls and some pre-posed knights this month. Here is another burned out ruin of Vladivostok from Dark Realms, as well as a forest with a tree monster in it. This is Joan of St. Clair, almost complete by Red Pilgrim Miniatures. The High King, Yeberon Kingslayer, Barbarian Cavalry, and more. New previews from Last Sword Miniatures this week. Print Minis are finishing off their September set with the modular Hellhound prototype military hover train. Yusashi Kyojin Studios has finished modeling their Merilith and are now ready to start posing. Sanix seem to be working on a Scorpion model as part of their September release. Rocket Pig Games has this deep sea mutated horror coming soon for all patrons. Here's a sneak peek at what Cobra Mode is working on for October. Great Grimoire has a few zombies wandering around the lobby. Has anyone seen the bellhop? This is a Manus Mortis Amputator from Atlan Forge, as well as a peek at their next model. Asgard Rising has a modular medieval houses set this month. Comet Lord Miniatures has previews up for Astrea the Witchblade and her little cat Glyph, as well as the Grinning Man. Gear Guts' Mech Shop has a couple of vehicles and a bunch of Bruiser Boys to go with them. Prey Collection Studio has previews up for one of their October models, Gunslinger Spawn. Ritual Casting has added a lot more detail to Senua, the Hunted, this week. Here are work-in-progress shots of Amaterasu and a River Dragon by Mia Kay. This is Yuria of Londor, also available as a bust by Fotis Mint. A 3D Art Digital has a couple work-in-progress pics, including an Ogre Vampire Hunter. It looks like Forest Dragon will be releasing small-scale ogres in the coming months. Avatars of War has The Demons of Wrath, a multi-part regiment set. Gamek has images up for their Eastern-inspired Orcs fantasy release, and for their yokai-themed sci-fi set. Broken Anvil Monthly has a teaser image up of a haunted stagecoach for their October release. Highlands Miniatures has 3 cannons this month, with their Sunland Artillery Battery, as well as a crew, enclosures to fire from, and a patron-exclusive standard bearer. This is Anira, the Amazon Queen, from Bite the Bullet, with options for mounted and on foot, as well as a bust. Papsicles has a preview up of their October sci-fi set, including a secret agent android, a Gigerian hybrid aggressor, and another android crew member that it ripped apart, in many disturbing variations. Chapter 14 from The Printing Goes Ever On is titled The Heroes of Ryder Mercia, with a longhouse, watchtower, king, heroes, and more. Epic Miniatures closes off their first October set Sky Dominion with Peacock Griffins, a Parrot Storm God, Dominion Angel, Arrowhawk Nest, and Archangels. Their second set, Underwater Mayhem, opens with the Swimming Tavern and her Fish Folk Cook, Ocean Nagas, Manta Rays, a Plesiosaur, Mermaids, and Urian Lobsters. Mini Monster Mayhem has some cute little abominations coming next month, with these Chromunculus, Marble Eyes, Vampsters, and more. New model previews from the Maker's Cult this week include a Dark Techno Brutus and guest sculpts by Starfail Foundry and Print Minis. Lord of the Prince October theme will be Indigo Dragons. Here's a Zorn and 2 Yeti, as well as some patron requests from MZ4250, followed by 10 1T models. And finally from Artisan Guild, we have Bone Gnasher Trolls, with Hyena Riders, a Stalker Fiend, Yanagra the Matriarch, and more. That's all the Patreon campaigns for this week. If you'd like to support the channel, check out my own first Kickstarter, Base Bashing Volume 1. I have 9 sets of bases across 3 different themes, so you can interchange between sets and still have your armies match. Along with the bases and movement trays, there are also a bunch of bits that you can add to make your own bases unique. Cacti, skelly parts, crystals, and ancient stone blocks. I have just 1 set left to finish, and the campaign is running for 3 weeks, so I should be able to get even more bits in there before it's done. Link in the description if you'd like to check it out. A huge thanks goes out to all my supporters on Patreon. Your support really means a lot to me. I'm planning on changing the channel's name soon, and patrons will get to vote, so if you have any good name ideas, let me know in the comments. I currently have 2 in mind. Heath Prince is an obvious one, but is a little too plain for my liking. I really like the Tabletop Printing Press. What do you think?